Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Guess what? Your boy is back for another one. Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all know how we do this. I see y'all in the building. Shout out to the homie Canes in the building. Salute CB83 and everyone. Salute Canes. You already know what time it is, man. You know how we going. You know how we getting it in. Do your boy a favor. Punch that like button. Punch that damn like button on your way in, man. We up. Shout out to the homie Lou in the building. What, Lou? What you see, Lou? What you see, Lou? You see plaques? Lou, what you see? Shout out to the homie Lou in the building. Hey, shout out to the members gang in the building. Shout out to the homie Raul P, man. We got Jankety Jim in the building. Super Bowl bound, baby. Let's go. Raul P in the building. OBJ with a real QB. Ooh, wee. Let's get it. Finsanity in the building. Fins up. S. Harris, what it do, fam? What it do? Bills fake crowd noise. LFG. Let's freaking go, man. Let's go. Miami Dolphins ain't playing. Hey, I need a chef. Hey, I need a chef emoji in the chat because Greer is cooking. I need a chef emoji in the chat because Chris Grier is cooking. Let's go, man. Lewis was trying to say Odell is the same size as Hill and Waddle. Tell the bro wingspan is a thing. My gosh, Lou, you don't know about wingspan, bro? Tighten up, Lou. What's going on with you, dog? Cake Master D in the building. Yo, what's good, Fem family? Glenn Paliker, the members gang is here. He's pulled up. Let's get after it. So when the Dolphins found to take the offensive line serious, hey, it's happening. It's coming. Shout out to the homie Q with a $2 donation. Let's go, Q. We cranking it today. Let's go. We about to get it in. Let's get it. Oh! Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie Q with the $2 donate. We up in here, man. We got 20 in the building. Punch the like. Hey, Glenn, stop playing with us. Stop playing. He cooking. He cooking. He cooking. Let's go. OBJ to the crib. Shout out to the homies, man. We got to get OBJ added to the intro. We got to make that happen. Somebody DM me. Let's get it working. Let's get it cracking. Let's go. Hey, we here, man. We here. OBJ to the crib, man. Hey, it might be Kim K just want to come to Miami, but either way, it's gonna be electric. It's gonna be electric down here in the yo. Let's go.
Young gun, no one that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right on the curb.
Yep.
Make this bird fly like a bird.
Hey, we here.
Spin on the first and the third.
Yes, sir. Cat for life in the building.
Crack up the foreign, I swear. Keep me a stick if they purge.
Can't draft. Get overpaid free agents. Go get the damn Super Bowl. I don't give a damn what you do. If you can't draft, do it in free agents.
They working my nerves.
Let's go get it.
Fucking this bitch like a perv.
Hey, let's go.
Smack on the back of a perv.
Hey, y'all ain't ready. Turn up with your boy, man. 32 in the building. Punch the light on you, man. Y'all know how we ain't playing over here, man.
Let's see how much you can earn.
We ain't playing over here, man. We ain't playing over here, man. Let's go, man. Run that back, man. Run that back, man. Let's go. Tua Leroy in the building. Coming out there with OBJ, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Armstead, Jalen Ramsey on the other side. Javon Holland, Snowman. Come on, man. Jordan Brooks, David Long Jr., Chubb Phillips. Come on, man. What we talking about, man? We want to get this damn Super Bowl, man. We about to go get this damn Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody talking about, man. Let their haters hate, man. We just gonna go get these dubs, man. Let's go. Hey, Q, I see you, my boy. Let's go. Hey, we ain't losing no more. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We ain't losing no more. We're going to get it. Tua Leroy coming, man. Hey, stop playing with us, man. Stop playing with us, man. We ain't playing no more, man. Shout out to y'all in the building, man. We going to get this dub, man. 36 in the building. Punch the like button on your way in. It's your boy, Phins State with CB83, coming to you for another banger of a show. Y'all know how we do, man. We going up, OBJ to the crib. Hey, not a move that I was clamoring for, hey, but it helps, right? And anybody want to rain on your parade and say, oh, you got OBJ. It's the same thing last year. Y'all said y'all got Braxton Berrios and Cedric Wilson Jr. and River. Bro, it's not the same, bro. It's not. Bro, let the miserable Dolphin fans, can y'all just be miserable somewhere else? Like, y'all need your own space. The miserable Dolphin fans need their own space where they could just go and do their thing, have fun, like bringing each other down. And man, it's Friday. We got an OBJ signing for $3 million base salary, $8 million if it caps out. Bro, what are we mad about? What are we upset about? Please explain it to me.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let's go, man. Like, why are we crying? Like, I don't understand it, bro. Like, y'all go do y'all thing somewhere, bro. Be a fan, cool. I'm a excited fan. I'm happy about this. I'm happy. I'm excited. Another piece to the puzzle. We got more weapons in the building, more opportunity to go get a dub. Point blank, period. That's what it's about. It's about building a team that could go win a chip. It's about building the best, having the best 53 to 55 on your roster and being able to make that shit happen. Right? You're not guaranteed anything. You still got to go out there and put in the work. Right? You still got to go out there and practice, grind it out. Right? Iron out the offense. Keep getting better on offensively. Defense has got to step up. Right? First year DC Anthony Reaver, not first year DC, but first year DC for the Miami Dolphins. He's got to come in and implement that shit right away. It's got to happen quick. It can't be we need 3 quarters of a season to get together. No, we gotta figure it out quick. We got talent. So it's just a matter of putting these guys in a position to be successful at this point. So man, if you are crying about this, hey, and you're living in the past, then hey, you cooked, man. You cooked, bro. You cooked. He said it.
He got cooked.
Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
Worry about it, man. We coming, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got 50 in the building. Punch the like button on your way in. The homie slid through. What's good? Lou, what's going on with you, man?
What's good, CB?
Man, another day in paradise. It's Friday, bro. What we mad about today, Lou? What we mad about?
No, ain't nobody mad. Who's mad, CB?
I don't know, man. I heard some people out here upset about the OBJ signing, bro.
Really?
Yeah. What is it, Lou? I mean, it's crazy to me, man. And I had the conversation with the people earlier. It's like, bro, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't around here, man. Y'all mad at Grier for signing players? You mad at him for not signing players? I mean, I don't know what else can the dude do. I think Chris Grier cooking right now. This is probably one of the best off seasons we had in a long time. Even after the Ramsey off season and the Tyreek off season. I mean, it looks like this year he's just doing a lot more to fill all the holes on the roster and give the team some legitimate depth. What's your thoughts, Lou?
I mean, I would agree with that. I think depending wherever you want to place Chris Grier, right? If you want to say he took over in 16, fine. If you want to say he took over in 19, fine. I think we can all say, though, from the offseason to the draft to everything, I think this has been Chris Grier's best job because he's actually filling out this roster, right? It's not so much top-heavy now. You can look in certain areas. Now, again, there's still holes that he has to address.
Of course.
But for the most part, you look at the running back room, right? I think you stabilize that room. Obviously, the wide receiver room, bringing Odell in, making 2 draft picks to add to Waddle and Hill that you already had. That room is solidified. Bringing in Jonnu Smith with the tight end. You might want to add a little piece here and there, but I think it's pretty much done. The D line done, right? It's like there's a lot of depth on this team now. So to your point, CB, I would say, yeah, bro. I think Chris Grier has done it, at least this offseason. It's been a masterclass so far.
Master class, bro. And honestly, like this is a good question. Is the O-line fixed? No, it's not completely fixed, right? I mean, honestly, I think every NFL team has holes, whether you like it or not. You can go look at every roster and you can find areas and people from each fan base that say, damn, we're really not good enough there, right? And that's the case with the Miami Dolphins. Now, I do think there's a lot of rooms in our organization that are very strong, right? I look at our cornerback room and our secondary, strong. I look at our wide receivers, strong. I look at our running back room now, right? With the addition of Jalen Wright, hey, you get stronger, right? And I thought this was already a solid room. They just were riddled with the injuries, right? The offensive line hasn't been terrible, right? They've been banged up down the stretch, right? And they've been shuffled a lot, right? But Mike McDaniel does do a really good job of hiding those guys within the scheme and it working in his favor for the most part. Now, would I like to see you get a little bit more depth there or get another starter? Yes, of course. But we still have, 5 months and we still got a lot of cap room and we still got money to make some moves. So I'm really kind of satisfied with where we are right now. When we looked at the end of the season or when we looked at when players signed elsewhere, did we think we would be in this position where we have OBJ, Shaq Barrett, Jordan Brooks, Kendall Fuller, all these defensive linemen? Like, did we think we would be here? If you thought you would be here, I think you're basically lying to yourself. Lou, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, listen, man, I agree. I look at the job, right? And for the people that say Chris Grier hasn't done nothing or he's a horrible GM, and look at Jordan Poyer, bro. A guy like that, it's hard for me to imagine that we got him for $2 million and there wasn't another team that offered him more. The rumors come out today with OBJ, got him for $3 million. He turned down more money to come to Miami. Why do you think Poyers, the OBJs, are taking deals like that? Now, again, it's only 1 year, right?
Yeah.
But if they're getting offered more, CB, it's because Jordan Poyer and OBJ's probably looking at this overall roster and saying, this is a contender. This is somewhere that I want to. I can envision myself coming here and winning a championship. And who put that roster together, CB?
It was the Christopher Aloysius Greer. Hey,
you know what I'm saying, bro?
in the fine words of Miss Nene, it was Christopher Aloysius Greer. Hey, you can't be mad at this. And you made a good point in terms of like guys turning down more money to come play for Miami. And even if they don't turn down more money, they're still choosing to come play for the Miami Dolphins. There is a such thing as the McDaniel effect. I think guys really do want to come play for McDaniel. And I think guys really do believe in his vision for the roster and Tua's play on the field. And other guys in this roster play on the field. I mean, I looked at Jalen Ramsey's Instagram today and he posted a photo of him and OBJ and he said, remember the last time we got together, right? And the last time those guys were together in LA, they went and won a championship. They went and won one. So I look at stuff like that and I gotta say, hey, Christopher Greer, Mike McDaniel are making the right moves, right? I think they're making the right moves. They want this team to be successful. And I think at this point, that's all we can ask for, right? It's for basically an organization that's going to bring players in that want to be here, want to help us win it. Even if we look at the draft, right? We look at draft night. I looked at the video of Chop Robinson, right? Yeah. Chop Robinson wanted to be a Dolphin. He said, hey, I want that other team to take that player. Go ahead and get him. I want Miami to come get me, right? We look at the situation with Patrick
Patrick
Paul.
Paul. Yep.
Begging. Hey, this dude's agent has been begging us all day to draft him, right? Why is this the case? There is something going on in Miami that has people and players excited to be there. Excited to be there. What's your thoughts, Lou? I mean, we can't discount it, bro.
No, absolutely not, bro. And I think you're spot on. I wanted to touch on one of your points, right? Because I think for me, this is where we know we're kind of a younger team. And I've been wanting the community, CB, to come out and say, I believe Miami has enough talent to win an overall Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's sometimes the mental aspect of the game. Like some of the players, and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to go crazy like I usually do.
I mean, you can go crazy. You can go crazy. I mean, you can think it is. It is a little. You can say it is a little soft sometimes. I mean,
sometimes it's a little soft. It comes off like the mindset ain't there. But look at the guys that they're trying to bring in. I think you just touched on it with Jalen Ramsey and OBJ, Super Bowl winners, right?
Yeah,
guys that have been
Trophies.
there, done that. Tyreek Hill, Super Bowl winner, right? Guys been there, done that. You look at. I think. For as young as we are in certain positions, right, and some of the key, our quarterback is still young, developing. You want to get guys that have been there, done that before around Tua.
Yeah,
guys like Jalen Waddle that you're going to build around.
And that's a really, really good point, Lou.
You see what I'm saying? Like Jalen Waddle, Waddle's our future, right?
Yeah.
Go surround him next to 2 Super Bowl winning receivers, right? And to teach him the way. I kind of like those moves, CB.
Because if you're not, so if your guy doesn't have it yet, all you can do is really surround him with guys who have done it, like who've been to the mountaintop, right? Surround him with guys like that to help him elevate his play, bring his play up. OBJ is only going to sharpen that room. Iron really does sharpen iron. If you have a dull sword, right, it's going to sharpen it, but it ain't like that sharp one sharpening it, right? You got to have some good players in there, basically challenging each other, competing every day in practice. Like that's what it's going to take. And, people might say the Dolphins culture is right soft, or the dudes are finesse, right? It's a finesse group of individuals, right? They might say that. But there's one thing that people don't take into consideration, and it's that, hey, those guys they love being there. They love being in the building. They love playing for McDaniel. They want to see McDaniel be successful. They want to see their teammates be successful, right? So you can say it's soft, it's finesse, but those guys are going to put out a little bit more effort on Sundays because they know, hey, this guy goes to bat for me. He goes to bat for us. He cares about us, not just us as a football player, but us and our families and everything else. So I think those are some intangibles that some coaches have. They have the ability to kind of galvanize players, right? And, some coaches are the rah-rah guys, right, that are real stern and real strict on guys and really push them. But there's also guys who are nicer, players, coaches, right? But they also can get the best out of guys too. There's just different ways to do it. There's not really a one-size-fits-all approach to coaching. There really isn't. So people may say, oh, McDaniels is soft. He does get on his players. And I can tell by the way he talks and the way he uses his language, his foul language, that he has those conversations with those guys, right? He does have those conversations. Von Joe says it's non-existent. CB83, what is the Dolphins culture? Same question to Lewis. Wow. So non-existent. He thinks the Dolphins culture is non-existent. What's your thoughts on this, Lou? I'll let you start with it.
Man, as far as a culture, I mean, I'm not in the building. I think it's hard to say what the culture is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the identity is definitely speed, right? I think, and I guess they're trying to bring in maybe some physicality, like Patrick Paul, you look at him, he's 6'7", 331.
Yeah.
And I think I heard you say before he did the bench press over 30-some reps, something like that. Yeah, strong guy, right? Jalen Wright, the running back, runs with speed and a little bit of power. I guess it's hard for me to say, man. I mean,
I think that's
I
more
have
of
no
an
idea.
I think
It's
I think that's more of an identity, like a team identity. But
well, but that's what I'm saying. What is the culture then?
I think the
culture.
I think the culture in the locker room, the culture in the organization is, hey, we want to play really good football. We want to be sound to our approach, but we also understand that we want to have fun, and we know this is a business, so we want to go out there and perform well too. We're going to hold each other to a standard, but we're going to play loose. We're going to let guys be themselves, right? Allow the personality to come out. If guys want to go out there and create some celebrations, hey, as long as you're performing and doing what you're supposed to do, hey, y'all can have fun with it, right? I think that's the culture down here. Now, that's not the culture everywhere else. I don't think other coaches in the NFL are allowing their guys to come up with celebrations during the week and do all of this fun stuff, because it's more about the business. It's more about football. It's not about you having fun and having a good time. And I think that's why some players may be gravitating towards Miami, is that Mike McDaniel allows them to be themselves, right? And he doesn't have you walking around the building in a straight line like little kids in single file lines, right? So no shots at anybody, but I'm just saying, like, that's the approach. I've heard that happens in other organizations, right? The Patriots organization and things like that. So maybe that's the culture in Miami, is that, hey, come have fun, be free, but you also got to perform and take care of business too. And if you're not doing that, we're going to get on your ass, because it's about winning games. So
yeah, see, I didn't want to say that though, CB, because all you're gonna do is give these people exactly what they want. Because when they hear the word fun and friendly, and they hear creating dances, and
they hate it.
They're gonna hate it, bro. They're gonna go crazy.
They hate it, and that's. But see, a lot of these people who are casuals and who don't understand what a locker room is like and what it's like being in a locker room, bro. Outside of practice and meetings, we are having fun together. We are playing video games. We are always around each other. It is a family atmosphere, right? So in the time you are practicing and you are meeting, bro, it's serious. It's business, right? But there's some time in between drills and in between times where you're not in the drill, where you have time to chop it up with other players, catch up, see what they got going on, things like that. But it just is different from organization to organization, from college to college, what coaches will allow you to do. So, I mean, people can say what they want to about, oh, it's fun. So it's, bro, all of them football players are typically having fun. Like, it's a game to them. They get paid to do it, but it's also about the camaraderie in the locker room and building camaraderie with one another, right? The best teams have some team chemistry. I want y'all to realize that. They do have some team chemistry. They do hang out with each other. They do stuff outside of just football. So I think Mike McDaniel is trying to kind of implement some of that in the building, but also holding guys accountable. And we heard the Tyreek interview where he said, hey, Mike McDaniel has got on me plenty of times, right? I think Mike McDaniel doesn't have an issue calling guys out. That's not the issue, right? I think whether they respond and come back and do better next time, I think that's always their goal. Like, they want to go out there and play well. So I don't know. I mean, people will say, oh, they're having fun, it's finesse, it's soft. But I think times are changing, the NFL is changing, and I think guys want to play for Mike McDaniel. And wanting to play for Mike McDaniel, you also want to come down here and be successful. Now, I do think Mike McDaniel needs to find a way to push these guys a little bit more, right? And that may be, hey, you need to practice a little bit harder. You need to put on the pads a little bit more and be more physical during the week. That may be the case, right? But he's learning that as being a head coach. I mean, that's part of the process. There isn't a cookie cutter one size fits all approach. There's multiple approaches. You there, Lou? All right, my man probably getting a haircut or something. All right, so yeah, man, and Von Joe, I hope I answered your question.
No, I'm here. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with a lot of what you said there, CB. Yeah, I think again when we start talking about
Send Von Joe the link. I want to get Von Joe in on this conversation because I know he's gonna have some pushback for me, and I love the thought of that. I love the thought of the pushback right now. So
okay, I'll send him the link.
Go ahead and send Von Joe the link because I definitely want to hear the pushback because I want to hear the other side because honestly, we need to have conversations like this, right? And some people will say, "Oh, CB is only one side," and no, I want to hear the other side. I want to hear the other side. And you see my man Batman Phinsaholic show in the building. Hey, do me a favor, punch that like button. Shout out to the homie Batman in the building, man. The NFL wants to play for two of the chosen one. Hey, he always about that life. Always.
Batman out here trolling.
Shout out to the homie Big Nick in the building. The homie Let's Go 49ers in the building. S. Harris. I see y'all, man.
Now, CB, let me ask you a question before I just sent Von Joe the link. Hopefully he comes up. But let me ask you a question. We were talking about the big news today, OBJ, obviously, right?
Yep.
So what are your expectations for OBJ on the field? I think we kind of touched on what he brings off the field and what he might bring in the building. But on the field, in between them lines, in the trenches, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think OBJ has left, and what do you think he can bring to this Miami Dolphin offense?
Well, I think first and foremost you get a competitor, right? And that's what I think that's what the team needs most, right? Is guys who have been battle tested, who've been in the trenches, who've played in big games, right? And who've made big plays, right? So OBJ, when you look at that Super Bowl, before he went out of the game, it looked like he was on pace to be the Super Bowl MVP. It looked like he was having a fantastic game. So those are guys you need. Those guys who have stepped up and made big plays in big games, and he's a dog. He's gonna find a way. He's gonna fire these guys up. He's gonna fire these guys up.
VJ said he's in the backstage. He pulled up.
Hey, there it is. What's good, Fine Joe? What's going on with you, my boy?
What's good, gentlemen? How we doing today?
I'm doing well.
VJ,
how are you? How are you? Happy Friday, VJ. Happy Friday.
Definitely happy Friday. Took the day off from work. On my daddy daycare today, so.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, so it's one of those days.
Is it still go Magic, VJ?
Oh,
Magic and 7.
Hey, Magic and 7. Let's go. We about to crank up tonight. Let's go.
No, Magic and 7. Goddamn it. But here's the thing. I asked about that culture situation, right?
Yeah.
And I only asked about it because there's certain teams that are known for winning, and you could look at that team, and from decade to decade to decade, they have that culture and it stays the same. It hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For example, the Ravens, their culture. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the Pittsburgh is that blue collar culture. Bring your work, pal. We're gonna put in work. It's gonna be hard, but success is gonna come at the other end, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, and it hit me. I'm like, what is our Dolphin culture?
So, and what's your thoughts on that? Because I kind of explained it a little bit, but go ahead, Lou, and then I'll let you rock out.
I just wanted to touch on that. See, and I'm glad Von Joe kind of put it in that aspect because I was saying this in the Twitter space the other day. It's funny how, and I'm not saying you, Von Joe, I'm just saying in general, a lot of people will be like, what is Miami's culture? Mm-hmm. But then look at the teams you just mentioned, Von Joe. Baltimore, Harbaugh, the coach, has been there 16 years, bro.
Long ass time.
Right? Look at Tomlin, 15, 16 years.
It's established.
That's why you're looking at that culture, right? But it's every 2, 3, 4 years we're recycling coaching.
But Louis, let me interject for a second there.
But you can't build a culture like that, Von Joe. You know that, bro. You can't.
But Pittsburgh culture has never changed.
But they've only had 3 head coaches in their existence, Von Joe.
Which is very true.
You see what I'm saying?
So, and I think you kind of hit it on the nail, Von. I mean, Lou, because when you look at those cultures, they're established over time, right? And when they passed the torch, who was it? Was it Cowher there before Tomlin?
It was Cowher.
Right? Cowher. Yep.
So when Cowher passed the torch to Tomlin, they were still winning games, bro. They were not a losing franchise. They had been to Super Bowls. They had done a lot. So when they passed the torch to him, it was like, oh, we're just going to continue doing what we did because we were successful, right? In terms of Miami, there's nobody really passing the torch to Flores. Nobody really passing the torch to McDaniel to say, hey, this is the way to do it because you were successful doing this. Just keep doing what I was doing. Keep running the same program and we'll be successful. So these guys are trying to integrate that themselves, which is difficult and that takes time. How many coaches do we see come in the first couple of years and establish a culture at an NFL organization? It's just hard. It's just hard to do.
I don't think it starts from the coaching aspect of it. One of the things I think is the issue that why we don't have an established culture is ownership issues, right? When you think about it, those teams that I mentioned, their owners have been in place for how long now?
But Ross has been in place for a long time too, Vonjo.
I know, but Ross is an absentee owner. He's not a football guy. We know this.
Okay. So you think because he's not a football guy, that's why the culture down here is it is what it is?
It could be because how many GMs we gone through? Because the GMs have switched. You need something to keep that culture together that when you're hiring that same type of guy. That Tomlin to it
was similar.
Tomlin,
yeah,
it was very similar. And he came in his press conference. Yeah, we know that we know the motto here for Steelers: steel curtain. It is what it is. You know, blue pill, bring into work. It's gonna be a long day. Right. That's the motto. So it's just, and I'm like, okay, the Dolphins, we need to establish our culture.
Right, but I think Vonjo, I think when you're talking about the leadership, let's go from the owner down. Yeah, I completely 100% agree with you. Stephen Ross is not a football guy, right? And depending how you feel, not you, I'm just saying in general, Chris Grier is a football guy though. Reggie McKenzie is a football guy, right? They now, and look at the success the last four, again, Super Bowl success, no, maybe playoff success, but building the roster. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Having 4 straight winning seasons, getting to the playoffs the last 2 years. I think you're starting to establish a culture, right? With some of the football guys that, yeah, the owner is not one, but he's starting to put guys in place that are and letting those guys kind of make decisions for this football team. And I think from what we've seen from the Dolphins the past 20 years and then the last 4, I think you're starting to see that culture that you're talking about. I think it's starting to cultivate. I just think it's going to take a little bit more time, but I think we're on the right track. Would you agree with that assessment, though, Vonjo?
Slightly, but I give pause to that assessment because I want to know: is that the culture of creating wins, or is that just the talent?
Really?
But
I don't think you can win games without talent.
Here's the thing. No, and the reason why I bring that up is because when you really think about it, when you were talking earlier about McDaniels, he get on his guys, it's fun also, right? We had in the middle of the season, we had that ping pong table gates, right? Where you saw a disconnect between leadership and players, or players that's supposed to be leaders in our locker room, right? Where we were losing at one point, and the table was out of the locker room, and people started reporting, "Oh, there's no longer a table there." And McDaniel was like, "Hey, no, we need to start focusing. There's no table there. We need to start focusing." They interviewed Tyreek. "Oh, no, the table's coming back. It just broke, but the table's back." And we're like, "Wait, what? Which one is it?"
So yeah, there's some instances where you can point out where it's kind of confusing as to like who's running the show, right? Even Lewis, you've had those conversations. Like sometimes you feel like the prisoners are running the asylum, right?
Absolutely, I agree with Vonjo, but CD right here, right? But when Vonjo made the comment, is it the culture being established or is it the talent? Okay, Vonjo, let's do that, right?
The exercise.
The culture you talked about, the Pittsburgh Steelers that they've had for years. Bro, when that culture started, there was Hall of Famers across the board on that roster. Then they got another Hall of Famer in Ben Roethlisberger. They've had Hall of Famers. The culture you talked about in Baltimore, that culture was nothing without Ray Lewis, a Hall of Famer.
Hey, you talking Ed
Hall
Reed.
of Famer.
Dogs,
right?
Suggs.
Dogs, right? Put good players. So every team that has a culture, an established culture, they're doing it with the talent creates the culture. And that is what me and CB were trying to say earlier about Chris Grier. Look at the talent. And that's why the last 4 seasons, yes, the end result, playoff wins and Super Bowl, we haven't got there yet, right? But, bro, the proof is in the pudding. 4 straight winning seasons, 2 playoff back-to-back appearances. When was the last time in the last 25 years Miami can say that? The culture is being established. I think as fans, though, we just want it. We live again in this microwave society. We want it right now. And what we're talking about is building a culture. So is it there yet? Are we 100% there? I would say no. But are we taking steps forward in the right mindset of having and establishing that culture? I would say yes.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on, Lou. And I think he's spot on. I think the Miami Dolphins are trying to build a culture where offensively we're fast, we attack teams, we're aggressive, and where defense, hey, we're gonna be fast, we're gonna get after it, and we have great talent. I think the Miami Dolphins are trying to build a very balanced roster. I feel like some teams do it one-sided. Like the Ravens kind of did it defensively for years, and then they kind of shifted to offense. And I feel like the Steelers did it defensively for years. And then their offense was typically pretty good. You know, it had a couple pieces. But I think the Miami Dolphins are just trying to be as balanced as they can on both sides of the ball, provide both sides of the football with talent, right, with speed, and being able to attack teams. Right, being able to be on the offense and attack those defenses. So I think that's their approach. Now, Lou said it, 2 seasons. McDaniel is a 3rd-year head coach. He's going into his 3rd year. His first 2 years in the NFL, he takes his team to back-to-back playoff appearances. How many first-year NFL coaches have done that?
I don't understand Big Nick's question here. I would ask Vonjo the same question.
He says I would ask Vonjo that same question, and he couldn't answer that for 95% of the league. So he's basically saying, hey, there are 95% of the league, they don't have a culture, right? They're just kind of going with the flow. They're just going with the flow. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of teams like that. There's a lot of teams who really don't have a culture.
But are those winning teams though? So again,
but when you look at the Chiefs, what's their culture?
So that is a good question. When it comes
to
Patrick
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
let's be real, right?
But here's the thing: the Chiefs they have a fun style offense, but it doesn't look like they're there just to have fun, right? Like if they're not winning, they're not having fun. Like shit gets serious. You see the tone of the team change.
I agree with that, and that's because they are on another level in terms of like winning them. They've won 3 Super Bowls, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So
they know what it's like. They have a hunger for it. That the Miami Dolphins.
So you can say they have a culture there,
right? So they have a culture, a winning culture. The Miami Dolphins are bringing players in the building who have won meaningful games, who have won Super Bowls. That's why Shaq Barrett is here. He's won a Super Bowl.
So it would be fair to say that we're trying, and I'm okay with what Lewis said, that we're trying to establish a culture by bringing in the players. Because when you brought in the Ed Reeds and the Ray Lewises, what happens is when you bring those type of players in, now you have identified your team's culture. And guess what? You start bringing more of those players, those type of players. I'm stepping back, looking at at what we're doing. So it could be that we're still in the process right now of establishing our culture. Where you see the type of players that we're bringing in are almost clones of each other, right? Or that type of player.
And I think you're spot on in terms of where you're going with it, because you're bringing players in that are competitive and that have a willingness. It's almost like an intrinsic thing, right? There are people who need outside help to be motivated, and there are guys who are just intrinsically motivated, like inside.
They just got that dog in them.
Exactly. They just have that dog in him. When you look at OBJ, he doesn't need anybody to motivate him. He feels like he's the best guy on the field when he steps out there. He's going to go out there and play like that. Tyreek Hill don't need people to tell him how good he is. Bro, I'm a dog. I'm going to go get it myself. Jalen Ramsey. You don't need to tell me how good I am.
Dog.
I'm going to go work out myself. I'm going to do it by myself. and I'm gonna be the best player I'm gonna be when I step on that field. So I think that's the type of players that Miami is looking for, is guys who are intrinsically motivated and who don't need a coach or a trainer to really push them, right? These are guys that want to be in the building. You want to be winners. You want to go work out. You want to perform on your own. It's not about Mike McDaniel telling you need to go work out or you need to be here.
So it's still fair to say that we're still establishing our culture. We haven't, it's not concrete yet. Yeah, so.
Absolutely. But Von Joe, look at the names we just mentioned, right? Jalen Ramsey's, the Tyreek Hills, the right. But look at the guy that one of the draft picks we had in Malik Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of his first tweets after he gets drafted is tweeting at Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill saying, "Hey guys, I'm here. I'm ready to work. Send me the location. Let me know what time we getting it in." That kind of guy you're bringing into the building, that's kind of what CB's talking about. Guys that don't have to be motivated or be told. Like, that guy hasn't stepped foot in that building yet, but he's already reaching out to guys saying, when are we working? Because that's the mindset we have to start having. And I think we're identifying those kind of players now.
Yes. And I think that's the culture that the Miami Dolphins are creating, is a culture where guys want to be here. They want to come to practice. They want to go perform, right? There's a lot of organizations where guys don't want to go to practice, right? They just want to get out there, get their check, and go home. I think the Miami Dolphins are creating a culture where people want to be in the building. They want to be around one another. They are excited about going to meetings, excited about learning, excited about the teaching. All organizations don't have teachers in them for coaching, right? Some guys are just, hey, go out there and do what I tell you to do. If you don't do this, then you won't be on the field. And I think that's why Fangio might not be here, right? Because he may not have been one of those guys who had the patience to teach guys and develop them, right? Mike McDaniel needs guys who are going to implement his plan. If it's not coming together, then hey, maybe we need to part ways, right? Because it's not working for us. And I think he did the right thing in making that decision. Now he gets a guy in here who's willing to have the conversations with players, willing to develop a game plan that kind of caters to their abilities, right? And maybe it starts to come together now, right? So I think that's where we are, man. We'll see. I mean, I like the question, I like the conversation, but the Miami Dolphins are still establishing the culture here for sure. It's only been 2 years. I think in year 4 to 5, we'll look at the Miami Dolphins and be like, oh, okay, that's who we are. That's how we win. That's how we do things as an organization.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for, right? Because a couple years from now,
you kind of low, Von Joe. You low.
My bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You got.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm multitasking. And that's all we can really hope for, that the culture gets established and it's a winning culture at that, right? Either that or I ain't got time to be scrapping it and start over again, bro. I can't. I can't.
Man, people say we already rebuilding, Von Joe. What's your thoughts on that?
Don't start that. Don't.
Whoa, yeah. Let's not start that.
They can have that conversation.
People say, "Hey, how you signed OBJ today on a Friday? Friday, what is this? May 3rd, and the Miami Dolphins are rebuilding. Like we're in the middle of a rebuild right now.
Now, to tell you the truth, the OBJ signing, it didn't move me like other people got moved.
Okay,
right. It was just more Kanye struck for me, like, okay, he's here.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I kept trying to explain this earlier, that when it comes to this signing, it's like, okay, after the draft, how I felt. After the signing of Jonnu Smith, how I felt, right? And when we added OBJ, I'm thinking to myself, bro, there's only so many balls that could go around, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to overhype it. It's like, okay, when the ball touches your hand, do something with it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're hoping for, that he's going to do something with it and that he gets the targets. But I also wonder, okay, if we're taking targets away, are the targets going away from Tyreek Hill? Are those targets going away from?
Honestly, they got to. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
Are the targets going? Hold on. Are the targets going away from Waddle? Because we know Waddle don't want that.
Honestly, and football is a team game, right? And when Tyreek Hill was recruiting OBJ to Miami, right? and putting him on social media and stuff like that, he's thinking, bro, we need another guy who's a dog in the building. We're trying to win games. It's not about individual accolades at this point. All these guys have individual accolades. OBJ, 1,000-yard receiver. Waddle has been a 1,000-yard receiver. Tyreek has been a 1,000-yard receiver. Nobody has done the 2,000. Tyreek, it's not about your 2,000 at this point. It's about winning a Super Bowl, right? And I think he understands that, or he wouldn't be clamoring for a guy like OBJ to come to the Miami Dolphins, right? He understands that, hey, there's only going to be maybe 30 to 40 pass plays every game. I'm not going to be able to get the same targets I get because, honestly, Tua needs to be spreading the ball around. We need to be more balanced, right? And we need to be more versatile. The best offensive coordinators are using the entire field. That means they're using all their weapons. We got a guy like Jonnu Smith in the locker room now on the roster. He's going to get some targets, right? It's going to happen. So these guys can't be clamoring for individual stats. It should be about team accolades at this point, and team accolades consist of winning football games. Point blank, period. Like,
100%
if you're thinking like that, then that's not a winning mentality. And I think Mike McDaniel has those conversations with those guys, right? And he understands that, hey, everybody won't get the football. It's not going to happen. And I think Tua needs to get out of that mindset too. Like, oh, I need to force feed guys. Bro, you need to just hit the open guy. Like, you don't need to force feed anybody. There's enough balls to go around, no homo. There's enough balls to go around, right? So that needs to be the attitude.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm not going to argue that. But
yeah, but do you feel like some of our guys are selfish and they are looking for the targets?
I'm not even gonna say I don't know if our guys are selfish or if we just zone in on them, right? Because I haven't seen Tyreek not get the ball and go to Tua and be like, "Oh, what the fuck? Where's the ball?" God, and get mad at him. So I can't say he's selfish, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't Waddle do that either. Is that happening behind the scene? I'm not sure. Because again, so I can't say you're selfish in that sense, right?
Yeah.
But is but what we can say is that is there a need for them to be selfish if they're getting targeted at such a high rate, right? So
yeah,
that's another part of the question right there.
I think we talk about Tyreek and Waddle getting the majority of the targets. Now, I want to shout. Now, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but Reason put out a tweet earlier, and I found it.
Who?
Reason, that the homie
okay.
Reason. Shout out to the homie, right? But it was interesting. Tua threw over 500 passes last year, and 278, if I'm not mistaken, were targets to Waddle and Tyreek. That means another 200 and something went to other guys, right? And I just think maybe some of those guys, the Chase Claypools of the world, River Craycraft was in and out of the lineup. Braxton Berrios he's not the Odell Beckhams of the world, right? I think Odell brings something different than those guys. So, and to CB's point about the balance, right? I think taking a third-round running back last year in Devin Achane, we know how exciting that young man is. Yeah. Now you bring in another guy like Jalen Wright to add to that room to get carries.
In the third round.
In the third round, right? I think you're adding pieces that are going to – it's not that we want to take the ball away from Tyreek and Waddle so much, right? But to be balanced, I think this offense is going to be what we all expect this offense to be now, because now you can't zero so much into Tyreek Hill from a defensive perspective, right? You can't try to take away Tyreek and say, you know what, we're going to take this away, and now the Miami Dolphins are done, because they can still beat you with Waddle. They can beat you with OBJ. They can beat you with Achane. They can beat you with Jalen Wright, right? They can beat you with the tight end we just brought in, Jonnu Smith. There's so many offensive weapons now that it's basically pick your poison. And if Mike McDaniel can find a way to get everybody involved, right? Keep everybody engaged. Bro, it's hard for me to believe a defense. You might stop Miami here and there, but if this offense can hit the ground running and start clicking, bro, it's going to be hard to stop, bro. I
It
mean,
And
it really
is.
is.
Lewis, you just hit the nail right on the head, and I think that's why I was not moved by it. It's because I'm not expecting for us to throw the ball all over the field, and I'm looking for that balance and that running attack, right?
Balance. Hey, hold up. I've been calling for balance for a long time,
Here
Lou.
we go. Here we
Yeah, you
Hey,
go.
have been, but we
I,
haven't had it, right?
I've been calling for balance for a long time, and y'all be clowning me like, "Oh, we need to be throwing the ball." I think people realize now that hey, you need to run the ball. Like there's
But
certain situations where you need to rely on the run,
but
and
CB, but again, we got the running back, right? To balance out our backfield. We also got that center. That center is not known for pass blocking. He's known for his run blocking, is he not?
yes, he's known for
So
that run blocking ability. Yep.
so maybe this is why I wasn't moved because I envisioned us running the ball more finally, like we've been saying that we were going to do, but now maybe we might do it. So if we're doing that, I'm like, is Odell really going to be that needle mover then?
Well, I would say yes, Von Joe, because if you look at the numbers, right, and I wasn't really moved. I was with you, Von Joe, earlier, but now that I start thinking about it and stuff, let's go. OBJ last year had 35 catches for a little bit over 500 yards, and that comes. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Lamar, but again, Lamar's not the passer of Tua Tagovailoa's caliber, right?
It's a run
Didn't
first
throw for four.
offense.
He and again, for a run first offense, I would agree with you. So let's just put 15 more catches on top of that 35 catch mark. That would put him at 50, right?
Yeah.
Bro, OBJ averaged over 16 yards a catch last season. So if you mean to tell me, let's say Tyreek's numbers go down a little bit. He had what, a little bit over 1,700, like 1,800. Let's say Tyreek's at 1,350, 1,400. Waddle's at 12. But now you look up and your wide receiver 3 and OBJ's at 50 catches for 750 yards. That right there, bro, we haven't had that in the Cedric Wilsons in the past. We didn't get that from Braxton Berrios last year, right? It's going to open a lot of things up. And I know a lot of people are talking about OBJ maybe being a boundary guy. I think now at this stage of his career, I'm not saying he can't do it for a snap here, a snap
But he
there.
can do.
And I would agree, CB. I think he can do it.
I
But
think he could.
now,
First of all, I think he could do a little bit of everything. I think he can run every route on the route
well,
tree.
he's a slot merchant, bro. He
Oh
loves
yeah,
being
he's
in the
gonna eat.
slot. He loves running those quick little two-step. I'm inside, getting quick slants on you.
Yeah.
And bro, with Tyreek taking the top off the defense, with now Jonathan Smith running up the seam, getting those linebackers to not sit in zones, having to follow him up the seam, bro, that underneath stuff, in my opinion, with
Waddle taking the
OBJ,
intermediate.
it should be automatic. CB.
Yeah, it should be. And honestly, like your goal as a football team is to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, right? When we look at what we had last year as a third option, Berrios, Craycraft at times, Cedric Wilson Jr. Those guys don't scare defenses, right? I mean, let's be real. They just don't scare a defense. And I've always been a proponent of hey, you need some players in the game that are kind of gonna put the fear of God in some of these defenses, right? Who can be the home run hitters, or whether you're physical, who can run your ass over and stuff like that. OBJ is one of those guys that people know if he gets it, he can skate. He might be able to get loose on you, right? So it just kind of makes guys aware. It makes that linebacker aware, like, man, I got to stay here a little bit longer. I got OBJ in the slot. I got to hang here a little bit to give my guys some time to get over the top of them. Like, that's the type of thing you want. And honestly, when it comes to putting an offense together, you really want to just put the best guys out there. You want to put the best playmakers out there. And OBJ just adds another layer to our offense where it adds a third option that is viable, that's been around, and that's done it at a high level. So I don't think we could be mad at that, especially at the $3 million base and $8 million a year. Because it could have been worse.
$3 million is cake. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's low risk, high reward, bro.
Exactly.
For sure.
And these are the type of conversation I could sit here and appreciate and enjoy, where we're going to respect each other's views. And okay, you know what? Take a walk. This is truly a take a walk with me.
Okay,
right?
I'll take a walk with you. Let's go.
No. I'm saying what we're doing right now is we're
Oh,
taking
okay.
walks. We're taking walks with each other, right? Like, okay, no, take a walk with me. Let's go see it over here, right?
Right,
And you
right,
guys are
right.
bringing me along, so where
Now,
we're
and
not.
what's your
Go ahead.
and honestly, and I like having these conversations, but I heard you today in a space and you were kind of like, yeah, I'm not really moved by it. And I get it. I get it. You're not really moved by it because, hey, we've been here before. We had Braxton Berrios. We said Braxton Berrios was going to be that guy. He wasn't that guy. We had Cedric Wilson. We had Claypool. These guys come in. They aren't that guy.
So
I think we could be excited about an OBJ because he's done it. He's played on a Super Bowl rosters. He did it. He did it at a high level with the Ravens last year. Did it at a high level with the Rams. So I think that's why people are a little bit more excited about this move.
and I never got a chance to finish my thought earlier in that space, right? Because people have a tendency to just hear what they want to hear.
That's
and not
Lewis.
actually-
That's Lewis and Batman space,
Right.
man. It's
And-
toxic, man.
and not actually listen.
Stop that, CV. Stop that.
I had no. Batman was not letting me finish. I had Kendall just yelling, and it became a yelling match because okay, now that's where we at. Now you're putting words in my mouth. Okay, now I'm really gonna turn up and get ignorant with you,
Oh man.
right? So if you want me to get ignorant and be like that, oh no, I could listen. I'm with the shits. I could easily go there, right? But if you want to have an intelligent conversation as men, we can also do that. So the reason why I was in move, and I was saying to Braxton Berrios, when Braxton Berrios got signed to CB, were we not all excited? Saying, "Oh, he's quick."
Yeah. We were
He's
excited.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Berrios used to cook us all the time. Now I know the talent is not the same; it's not on the same level.
Yeah.
But I could also easily say that when you look at Berrios' targets, which is 33, right? Did we really even try to use them for real?
And that's a fair assessment. That's super fair because I don't feel like he was targeted enough. I do think Tua missed him sometimes because he was trying to go to Tyreek or Waddle. I agree with
And
you.
we saw that in the all 22,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
that's what I
and-
was trying to. That's what I was
and
trying
we
to come across. That at
Yes.
the end of the day, you could get all the talent you want, but they have to get the ball in their hand, and you have to use that talent. You can't just target Tyreek. I don't want Odell out there just as a decoy. No, a true decoy is when you watch the film and you're like, yo, they throwing the ball all over the place. We don't know who to really cover. We don't know where to cheat coverage at.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I really liked Tua in year one under McDaniel because he wasn't so focused on throwing to a specific player. I felt like he distributed the ball a lot better than he did last year. Right. I think last year he kind of honed in on Tyreek, and I think that is going to happen, especially when you have a guy like Waddle who's kind of in and out of the lineup. He was banged up. So all your chemistry is kind of with Tyreek. It's not with Tyreek and Waddle because Waddle's been out. And then you're trying to find that third guy or the tight end, but it's just not really working out. So
Very fair.
think, right, and that's fair. And I think Mike McDaniel needs to do a better job of getting on Tua's ass about that shit. Like,
So
bro, you have all these cameras on his helmet, all this reading stuff, reading defenses. You need to make sure he's honestly taking the best option, right?
Absolutely.
And you can't be going into film study after practice and not saying, hey, you missed this guy on this one. You tried to take the deep shot to Tyreek. You should have took the underneath. It's unexcusable. You got to do better. You got to get to the next read. You can't always hone in on that guy.
CB, let me ask you this, or Von Joe, because I don't know how this works. We all know Tua's working with a quarterback coach this offseason. Does that continue during the season? Do you guys have any knowledge on that?
I have
Because
zero. I don't think it continues into the season because
yeah.
at that point you have your own coaching staff at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
The team has its coaching staff.
Yeah. I think everything they do is off season, right?
Okay.
All his stuff with Nick Hicks, all his stuff with House and those guys, I think it'll be off season stuff. Now, they may, get on a call or they may have a Zoom call like once a week where they look at some stuff that he did during the game, right? And just kind of point out some things that he could do better. I think they may do that as a group with like the house group and him. Get jumping on a Zoom call and being like, hey, let's kind
I
of
don't
go
think
over.
the Dolphins staff is involved in that at all.
Yeah. I don't think the Dolphin staff would be involved in that, but I think he should be taking 30 minutes to an hour to evaluate himself with those guys and see where he needs to get better and what he can work on during the week as well to just kind of put him in a better position the next week. So for sure.
No 100. But Luke, you see the conversation we had? That's where I was just trying to go with it earlier.
Absolutely.
Before people were putting words and thoughts into my mouth. Like, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? That's why I left the space. It was like, all right, bro, it's Friday.
Bro,
right.
Bro, y'all spaces be toxic, bro. Just call it like it is. It be toxic.
Sometimes it gets a little toxic, but to Von Joe's point, it's not like conversations like this. We're not screaming over each other. We're letting people get out their points. And in those Twitter spaces, sometimes people don't know how to act, me included, right? I'm not going to say anybody's name. I get crazy too sometimes, but it's more reactionary.
And the thing is, and I got crazy because it was reactionary. Because I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Are we trolling right now? Or are we trying to have a real conversation? Because if this is supposed to be a real conversation and it went here, oh no, I'm about to turn up on you because you're not gonna keep disrespecting me. You're not gonna keep playing in my face. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But if we're trolling, we're trolling. You feel me?
Yeah, I get it. And sometimes Twitter is cool for that too. Twitter is, y'all space is great entertainment sometimes. I really, my day really does fly by as a result of, listening to some of that nonsense and chaos. It's fun.
100.
Right? It's fun sometimes. Sometimes it's cool, and then sometimes it gets to be a bit much. But it's fun. All in fun. But Von Joe, anything else, man, you wanted to talk about?
No, man, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep listening. I gotta get back to dinner with the family anyway, man. Listen, great show.
I appreciate you, bro.
Excited to see what happens, man.
Man, Von Joe, it's always a good conversation. We got to do this more often, man. I'm definitely gonna start sending you the link. Let's see if you pull up.
Bro,
though.
I heard I was a panel killer by somebody said I killed the panel.
Hey, he's still on that, man.
Somebody said I killed the panel, man. Hopefully I can do this panel right now.
Why he's still on that, Lou? He's still on that.
He got cooked. Hey, you didn't go down like that, huh? He got cooked.
Von Joe, don't go out like that.
Hey,
bro.
brother, I just hope your viewership didn't go down because of me, okay?
No, bro, it's on me, dog. I'm getting cooked right now, man. I'm getting cooked.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
It's all good.
Hey,
up, man.
Absolutely, CB. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm about to bow out. I'm gonna go get my hair cut, but CB, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. There's a lot of people that have been reaching out to me saying that I guess me and you got a good thing going, and they want to see more of maybe the CB and Lewis kind of show, bro. We're gonna have to maybe discuss some things because these conversations, to Von Joe's point, CB.
Yeah.
This is, again, I'm gonna get up out of here, but this has been a great show, and I really do.
For sure.
I know we get after it. I know we troll each other, but I can really appreciate these conversations. And I think these are the conversations that this, not only the community, but us as like me, I appreciate it, bro. Cause I hate saying it publicly, but I do learn from guys like you, CB, right? Like, trolling aside, I'm still going to troll the hell out of you.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's great. It's great conversation, bro. So we might have to create something, CB.
Bro, we are. Hey, we're going to cook up something, man. Hey, within the next, I want to have this thing set. By the next 2 to 3 weeks, let's have this thing set in stone and let's go ahead and rock it out and do it. And let's commit to it, bro. Let's set a date and let's rock it, man. Because honestly, these are the conversations that need to be had. I've seen other platforms kind of have similar conversations. Some of them are good, right? Some of them are great. Some of them are okay, but I feel like we got a good thing going with our chemistry, the way we talk about football. I think you kind of get two different perspectives, right? And it's fine to have the two different perspectives push back on one another and be able to, agree to disagree too. Like, everybody don't have to have the same opinion, bro. That's just the nature of it. Like, we aren't going to all agree on the same thing, but I'm looking forward to it, bro. We definitely going to work together. This is a killer show. We were literally on for an hour, talked football, talked about the situation, talked about the signings, and just had a great conversation. The people in the chat were engaged. That's how it should be. Always.
I agree. So listen, I'm going to let you finish this thing out. Do your thing. Appreciate always dropping the link from me. And
for sure,
yeah, CB, you already know, bro. We'll be in touch and we'll get this thing definitely in motion. So
hey, let's
I
do
appreciate
it.
the conversation, homie.
Hey, shout out to the homie Lou for pulling up, man. Always love, man. Shout out to the homie, man. If y'all want to see more conversations like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody coming through just to talk some ball for a little bit. And I'm going to try to go live more often. Me and Lou are going to try to do something on the side too, where we crank up and we maybe do a separate channel of just us, just having these conversations, just talking Miami Dolphins. So, hey, be on the lookout. Hey, share this with somebody who's a Miami Dolphin fan. Punch the like button on your way out. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I love my Phins fans. Hey, OBJ to Miami. Does he come out and ball? Help us get to a chip?
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah. I really do hope so, man. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy, Ben Steak with CBD3, and I am out. See ya. What a woman.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.